Yesterday, I received this email. Hello, Bog. Recently, DHH, who made Ruby on Rails, I think that has to do something with programming, made their own Hyperland distro called Omarchy. There's Arch in there. That's not a good sign. I get quite a few emails like this of people wanting me to try their favorite Linux distribution, but this one finally convinced me. Now, what can I even say about Omarchy? Imagine Windows' X and Apple's X came together to meet with Linux's current girlfriend and talked about all the shortcomings, advantages, and decided to have a baby. This baby will be Omarchy. Oh my god, brother. The ease with which you can install and remove stuff in Omarchy is so amazing. I spent downloading and then removing VLC 25 times in a span of a couple minutes just because it's so damn fast and so damn cool. Needless to say, he had me at brother. So I'm going to test it out. So first, I'm going to have to install it, create and format disk partitions. Boing. Currently, I have Fedora Linux installed here. This is also some Linux stuff. And I have about 100 gigabytes free on my D drive. Oh, it's not actually free. Okay, so there's virtual machine stuff here. I can just yoink. Not sure if it was a good idea to move it. Boom, 101 free out of 101. Hopefully that's enough space. So the next thing I want to do is right click and delete volume. Deleting this volume will erase all data on it. Back up any data you want to keep before deleting. Boing. So now this says unallocated space, which Linux can gobble up. Let's hope I don't have to install Arch Linux while installing Omarchy. Did you mean Monarchy? English music starts playing. Oh, look at that selection. An opinionated Arch plus Hyperland setup by DHH. Manual. So I'm going to download this ISO file, which I can essentially put onto a USB stick and then install Linux that way. So next I just plugged in a USB drive and I'm going to need a tool called Rufus to put this ISO file inside of the USB. So I'll just go into the website and download. Click to run. Here I select my USB, it's 4 gigabytes, then select my ISO image by clicking select. And without worrying too much about any of these other settings, start. And it should be ready any second now. The USB is ready. Start. Wait, actually close. And then I can delete all of these files and restart my computer. While I'm restarting, I need to keep smashing the delete key on my keyboard to get into the BIOS menu. Here we are in the BIOS menu, and here on the right, you can choose which thing your computer boots into. So I'm going to move my USB from the bottom to the top, and then down here, save and exit. Here we go. Boink. Oh, stuff just started happening. It says Omarchy, and already by this installation, I can tell it's not going to be painful. It says here arrow keys to navigate and enter to submit. Let's do enter. Detecting network. Username alphanumeric without spaces. Let's do dog. Full name used for Git authentication. I don't have a GitHub account, so I can hit enter to skip. Email address used for Git authentication. Skip. Host name. What's a host name? Choose. Select where to install Omarchy. I have to be careful here. I think it's the second one. Everything will be overwritten. There's no recovery possible. Confirm overwriting. No, change it. Change it? Wait, do I have to install it on an entire disk? So it's going to erase my Fedora partition. I don't want that. Enter submit. Why? Yes. Format disk. And no, change it. Well, there she goes. Let's hope I selected the correct disk. Why did it not let me pick which part of the disk I want to install this in? I wanted to do it only on the partition that I erased, not on the entire drive. We are in. Okay, I'll figure out how to do screen recording and come back. Hello? Yes, was pre-installed on this machine. Hello? Does it work now? Bingo, bango, brongo. I just figured out how to do screen recording. OBS was already pre-installed, which is amazing. The problem is that my screen refresh rate is only 60 Hertz and my monitor goes up to 240 Hertz. Also, my mouse cursor is incredibly fast. So I want to fix all of that first. I'm already re-remembering how to use Hyperland. It's a tiling window manager. Essentially, you can open a bunch of windows. Welcome back. Let's sign in. Not sure what this is. What I meant to say is you can open a bunch of windows like this and they automatically tile next to each other side by side. You can also pick up a window and arrange it somewhere else, and I don't really remember much else. So the way you configure this is you click Super Alt Space. Super is the Windows key. And then here I went into Setup, then Monitors, and it opened this window here, which is inside of NeoVim. I'm so glad I learned a little bit about how to use Vim because I would have zero clue how to change any of this. And so essentially you configure your operating system by typing in text commands like this. Here, for instance, I set my monitor scaling to 2. Not sure what the environment scale does. Either way, I want to figure out how to do that for my mouse sensitivity and refresh rate. Toggle, style, setup, install. I go into setup, then for mouse inputs. Oh, I forgot the NeoVim animations. Look at that. Amazing. So here's the keyboard layout, keyboard options, compose caps. Not sure what that means. Increase sensitivity for mouse trackpad. Default is 0. Wait, so I want to decrease it, which means I uncomment this minus 0.5. And as soon as I save this file, you do that by pressing :WQ, enter, and now my mouse sensitivity has changed. Okay, wait, let's go into Chrome. How to set refresh rate on Hyperland. Monitor DP1. This is the resolution and this is the refresh rate. Replace DP1 with the name of your monitor found in HyperCTL monitors and replace the resolution with the actual resolution. HyperCTL is a command line utility. Oh, so it's just the command in the terminal. By the way, I just opened the terminal by pressing meta enter, and you can close any window inside of Hyperland with meta W. It's amazing how well it works with just keyboard shortcuts. I can also spawn in a bunch of baby windows like this. Now I have to close them. Oh, look at the animations. Okay, I'm so excited to dive into this. So I do HyperCTL, boink, usage HyperCTL flags command. Oh, I need to do HyperCTL monitors, of course. HyperCTL monitors, monitor HDMI A1, ID 0. Since I'm using HDMI, I've learned that the maximum Linux can get to is 144 Hz. Nevertheless, let's yoink this name, go into setup, then into monitors, and paste in the monitor, right? This says preferred, so I think this should be the resolution here, 3840 to 160. Then at 144 Hz. Oh, almost made a mistake. Don't need Hertz. Maybe let's try 240. I doubt this will work. Now if I do :WQ, oh, my screen is black. Wait, is it actually 240 Hz? No way. It's working over HDMI. This feels like 240 Hz. Of course, you can't tell on video. Nothing changed for you. Oh no, never mind. It's running at 120 Hz. I just got used to 60 Hz and feeling 120 felt like even more. Now, I must say, if you're watching this, chances are you care about productivity, which is just being able to do what you want to do in a shorter amount of time. And whether you're a working professional or have your own business, what's very important to being able to unleash that productivity is being organized. I bet you're a bit like me and you love to be organized, but you rarely are. And to help you with that, I want to introduce Akiflow, the sponsor of this video. Akiflow is a time blocking platform that helps you allocate specific time slots for each task and keep all of your tools in one place or calendar. You can connect a bunch of different apps to Akiflow, for example, Slack or email, or create your own tasks and they'll appear in one single place. I like to leave some empty space when I plan out my day to account for all the things that I didn't expect to happen, but I always try to do at least one non-negotiable hour of working on YouTube videos and either meditating or learning something new. Now there's this absolutely killer feature called the command bar. It's like Spotlight Search on macOS, a universal search bar that can do pretty much anything within Akiflow. For example, if I want to create a new task in my Google Calendar, I click Command K to bring up the command bar, put in the vertical bar for calendar, name my task, say when, and I can tell it how long by putting an equal sign. So I'll do 2 hours, and once I click enter, the task is automatically added into my Google Calendar. And if you're unsure what some of Akiflow's features do, there's an exclusive one-on-one onboarding call you can take for the Akiflow team to help you get started and help set up your Akiflow in minutes. Okay, back to the video. First things first, I want to change the wallpaper, although it's very nice. I'm going to open the file manager with Meta F. Yes, sir. Here, going to my disk, and look at that, I can browse my Windows files from within Linux. So let's yoink one of the wallpapers from this beautiful wallpaper pack, link in the description. I think this one will look sick. And set as a background. Wait, nothing changed. Did I forget how to set? Oh, why did it just switch to this one? Oh, when you press Control Meta Space, it switches the wallpaper. But let's go into Style, Background, and it just changed the background. So you can't set your own wallpaper? Surely not. What if I click About? That's a thing. How to set wallpaper in Hyperland. Launch your wallpaper utility with exec once. What's my wallpaper utility? Omarchy change wallpaper. All the backgrounds in Omarchy live in config Omarchy theme backgrounds. Oh, so there are different backgrounds for different themes. Wait, let's actually explore the themes. The MKBHD theme. Yo. And then if I do control meta space, it cycles, well, the same background. Okay, that's very cool. And everything changes, not only the wallpaper. What if I open Chrome? Surely not. Wait, how did they do that? Wait, there's a separate YouTube app. What do you mean? What? There's like a separate web app for YouTube. Okay, I'm already liking this. Let's look at more themes. Cappuccino Light or Latte. Okay, this wallpaper is not the highest resolution. There's Nord, the classic, and there are different wallpapers for this one, 2 of them. That's so cool that it changes the theme for everything. Even this Chrome window changes. Wait, let's do another theme. Rose Pine. Boom. It just updates Chrome just like that. Look at the apps. There's ChatGPT, Chromium, Discord, and everything is already pre-installed. Figma, Files. So it's like Arch Linux, but more like a MacBook, where you have a bunch of stuff already pre-installed. Local Send. This is an amazing app. I just learned about it recently, and I'm using it on my phone, my MacBook, and my Windows. Essentially, you can just airdrop files if you're connected to the same home network from any device anywhere with this app. Highly recommend. Obsidian, hello. What's Urinal++? Is this like a text app? By the way, you can resize apps like this if you hold the meta key and then drag with the right mouse click. It resizes them, and if you do left mouse click, you can position them somewhere else. And if you click meta 1, 2, 3, or 4, it cycles between virtual desktops. Wait. Okay, let's finish up with the theme. If you want to add an extra background image to say the Nord theme, you just put the file in config Omarchy Nord backgrounds. Wait, which one was the default? Look at these wallpapers. Now everything's green. Ooh. This distribution looks very cool. Well riced. So Tokyo Night is the default one. So I go here into Tokyo Night, then backgrounds, and if I don't want to use any of these ones, I delete them and use my own background. You can do this mostly easily by going to install style background in the Omarchy menu. Oh. It's a good thing that I navigated here. I can install web apps, TUI, style development editor, AI, gaming. Oh, we're trying everything. Okay, so if I install style background and I can drop my wallpaper in without having to navigate to this directory. Beautiful. But why is it not updating? Oh yes, I can press super control space to cycle the backgrounds, which will update them. Beautiful. And I haven't run into a single issue yet. That's probably because I tried Hyperland before. If you press meta space, it brings up the application picker where you can just type something in, like YouTube, enter, and it opens it. Can I type something in that doesn't exist? YouTube, hello there, potato. And if I click enter, does it search Google for this thing? No, that would be useful. Okay, the first thing that I want to do is install a text application, like a notepad. So I'm here inside of install, and if I go into editor, cursor Z Sublime Helix, these are code editors. Oh, maybe just package. Wait, I can search for packages? Kwrite. I'm not sure what's going on here. Wait, maybe it's called Kwrited. Wait, maybe it's called Kate. Yeah, advanced text editor. I just didn't remember how it's called. Kate. And then if I do enter, and it's installing just like that. I didn't even have to bring up the terminal. Wait, look at that globe icon. This is so cool. Done, press any key to close. Okay, so now if I look for my apps, I can go into Kate, open, and there's my text editor. Either way, the reason that I installed it is because I want to set a bunch of tasks for myself and see if I can complete them inside of this Linux distribution to see how useful it really is. Take a screenshot, create a Manim animation. It's a Python library that lets you create custom animations. Install a game, play a game, open a PDF, install a browser. What else do people do? Change mouse cursor, of course, redact a screenshot. Wait, I don't know what regular people do with their computers. Luckily, I've already made quite a few Linux videos, and I used a similar list. Wait, why is there no audio? Fix audio, crop image, access clipboard history, and I guess that's about it so far. Wait, what happens if I save stuff on my desktop? Does it actually appear on my desktop? No. So I have to go into the file manager, desktop, desktop and there is the file, but it won't show up on the actual desktop. Let's start by fixing audio. If I open YouTube and go into one of my videos, there's no audio. Oh, that's because it's using the wrong input source. I select this one. Boom. There's immediately audio and Bear Grylls. One task is complete. Wait, no, it's not. I need one more. Use emoji. In order to mark this as complete, I want to insert a nerd emoji. Of course. Hyperland, use emoji. Of course, I can just copy an emoji from here and probably it will work. Copy. And then if I paste it here, there it is. But I still want to be able to use emojis from within my operating system. What if I go into learn, key bindings, Omarchy, Hyperland, Arch, NeoVim, Bash. So there's like tutorial built in for everything. What if I do NeoVim? Oh, it just opens the NeoVim website. What if I go learn key bindings, alt print, screen record a region? Wait, I have to try this. Alt print. I select this, screen recording starting. So is it recording right now? And how do I stop the screen recording? Is it here in this menu? My CPU cores. What if I click on this? Oh, there's like a task manager here. But how do I stop the screen recording? Wait, if I go into my files, videos, there's the screen recording right here. Wait, never mind. That's my OBS screen recording that I'm doing right now. So where's the one that I just started recording? Wait, what if I go into capture and screen record, region or display? So what if I do region, screen recording saved? Oh, you have to go into the menu twice. First to start recording and then to stop recording. It would be a lot simpler if there was a button here that I could click and it would stop recording. I don't know if that's possible inside of Linux though. So if I open this file, does it have audio? No, it doesn't. Okay, and everything I did is inside of the screen recording. Ooh, you can also pick a color. That's very useful, especially if you use Photoshop, which obviously doesn't exist on Linux. But I have this feature set up on macOS with the app called Pika and on Windows with PowerToys. It's very useful. Anyway, let's learn key bindings, and the key bindings are also searchable. So what if I do sleep computer? Super Control E emoji picker. Why did that come up when I typed in sleep? Super Control E. Ooh, nerd. There it is. Hold on. Wait, I just forgot the keyboard shortcut. You have to be kidding me. Wait, Control Alt K. Oh, Meta K brings up all the key bindings. Just like in Premiere Pro, well, it's actually Control Alt K, but that's like a very universal keyboard shortcut. Okay, so emoji, Super Control E, Super Control E, nerd, boom, nothing happened. Let's just double try. Do I have to click? Oh, maybe it copies to the clipboard. Paste. Yes, it does. Okay. Whew, I didn't expect this to be built in. Maybe clipboard history is also built in. History? That doesn't seem like it. Maybe I'm going to have to install a separate app for this. One thing I don't really like is that when you open the Omarchy menu, you have to type something twice to get to it. For example, if I want my computer to go to sleep, I have to go into system and then over here click suspend. But if I just open this menu and type in suspend, there are no results. So I first have to type in system and then suspend in order to suspend it. Anyway, let's start at the beginning. Take a screenshot. That should be pretty easy. Capture, screenshot, region. There we go. Ooh, there's a separate window that opens up. Wait, this is very good. I can blur something out. What if I want to add a rectangle that's completely filled in to redact something? Oh wait, I just click this. There we go. That's the redacted screenshot. Boing and boing. Open a PDF. First, I'm going to need a PDF. Maybe I can save this as a PDF. Print to file PDF. There's the PDF. Can I just open it like this? Yes, I can. Of course I can. Somehow the emojis disappeared. That's complete. Why is my cursor in the middle of the smiley face? Anyway, install a browser. That should be pretty easy to do from the install menu, package, and then I do Firefox, enter in my password, and it's installing. Look, there's even like a Pac-Man thing eating coins. So now if I search for Firefox, there it is. That was pretty easy. Oh wait, I just closed the text app, and if I double click, it opens with NeoVim by default. So you really have to know your way around Vim in order to use this operating system. I guess you could set something else as default, but it's really preset so that you have to know how to use Vim. Oh wait, I forgot crop image. Image viewer, is this going to let me crop? Never mind, it's just an image viewer, literally what it says. Pinta, I'm assuming this is a painting program. So surely this lets me crop. What if I just use this tool, select this much? There are layers in this program, so then there's definitely crop. Or what if I do this, Control I to select invert, and then Control X? That's not really crop. Surely it's here, I just don't know how to use this program. Oh, there it is. Just missed that button for some reason. That has been cropped. Oh, BS. Interesting. Wait, I go here. Y, J, K, and P. Never mind. Did I forget how to use Vim? What is happening? What am I doing? Okay, there we go. Wait, let's look through the apps. Maybe there's LibreOffice Writer, which is like Microsoft Microsoft Word, but with freedom baked in. Typoria. Well, would you look at that? This looks super clean. Wait, really? You spell screenshot with 2 separate words? There's spell check. Disable. Look at that. Now it's clean. I don't have to spell screenshot like this. Let's work on accessing clipboard history. I think that's going to be the easiest. What's the best GUI-based clipboard? Copy Q. It has some KDE dependencies, but they're small overall. Meta alt space. Install package. Copy Q. Enter. Password enter. This is how fast... Oh, I typed in my password incorrectly. Anyway, this is how fast you can install stuff. Then meta space, copy Q, open. There it is. Not sure if this is how it's supposed to open. Is it here in the menu bar? Yes, it is. So now if I copy something like the nerd emoji, come here and click. I guess that's the nerd emoji. Okay, if I copy open a PDF, then it's here. So it doesn't really understand emojis. And if I click on the emoji now, it copies it to my clipboard and I can paste it in. Beautiful. Which one of these is the easiest? I guess let's try to play a game. Surely there's no Steam or anything. No. So I'm going to go down to install. There's a gaming section. Steam, RetroArch, and Minecraft. Let's just do Minecraft. Enter in my password, enter, and it's installing Minecraft just like that. Wait, it's already here. Wait, that was so easy. Hold on, what if I do install gaming Steam? It just does a bunch of Pac-Man stuff, and boom, with the classic low resolution window. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's just focus in on Minecraft, and there's a tiny Minecraft. Why is it so small? That's what she said. But if I do F11, there we go, 117 FPS. Not that horrible. Never mind, the FPS was capped 800 FPS, and I'm pretty sure these are maximum video settings. Yeah, this is 4K, graphics fancy. Let's turn up the render distance. I think this is more than I usually get. Let's do a little bit of speed bridging. Perfect. Install a game and play a game are complete. Create a web app. These web apps live in local share applications. They're just .desktop text files. You can make your own or remove the default ones by cloning or deleting these files. Wait, let's go inside of here. Google Messages .desktop. I don't use Google Messages, so can I edit this with something? There's desktop entry, name, comment, and then there's just a link here that it has to open. So if I change this, as well as the icon and the name, I think I should be able to create my own web app. Oh yes, there's install web app inside of install. Let's create a new web app. You can start with the app launcher. Name my favorite app. So I guess let's create an app that goes straight to my YouTube channel. Bog, enter, then URL. By the way, you paste with Control-Shift-V inside of the terminal. I'm assuming this is the terminal. Icon URL. See, dashboard icons must use PNG. So wait, if I open the browser and just yoink my own icon from YouTube, copy image address. Never mind, that doesn't look like an address. Never mind, it looks like an address. You can now find Bog using the app launcher. Bog, enter. Okay, the web app was much easier than I expected. Wait, also set new default browser, just to see if I can do it. How to set default browser, Omarchy. To get the current default, XDG settings, get default browser. The default now is Chromium desktop. To set the default browser, XDG settings, set default, Firefox default. Okay, paste that in. And so now if I do meta B, it opens Firefox. This time my Hyperland experience is so much smoother than the first time. Change mouse cursor. I remember doing this, but I don't remember how to do it. Wait, surely not. If I go into style, theme, font, background, screensaver. Okay, the mouse cursor setting is a must here. Change mouse cursor Hyperland. Open your hyperland.conf file and add exec1's hyperctl set cursor themes. Okay, what? What if I go into setup, config? Oh wait, you can add a fingerprint unlock. Hyperland, hyper idle, hyper sunset, waybar. That's this bar up top. I will want to customize this. Customize waybar. So I think I go into the Hyperland setup. Use defaults, but don't edit these directly. Change your own setup in these files and overwrite them any settings from default. Hold on a minute. So how do I change the mouse cursor? I did it before in the Hyperland video, I remember. Add exec1's hyperctl cursor theme size to your config and restart Hyperland. Wait, where's the default default breeze cursor. Oh, there's the macOS one. They recently changed it to a different one. I think this one looked better than the new one. Also, you can no longer change your mouse cursor, at least for now, because Mousescape doesn't work. So you're stuck with the new default. Ooh, Posse's cursor, breeze cursor, theme, Linux, download, Plasma Breeze visual style. What if I download this directory as zip, I guess? Then can I extract this? Okay, extracting archives also works. Okay, so here are all of the cursors. Move your cursor theme files to icons directory for user-specific installation. Let's go into icons. Something went wrong. Wait, maybe icons don't exist? Control Shift period. Wait, how do you see hidden files? Isn't it meta shift period? Oh, I just closed it. My Hyperland muscle memory is still not there. Oh, show hidden items, Control H. So there's no icons file here. How to install new cursor theme Linux. X cursor breeze. I could just install this. Description KDE Plasma Breeze cursor theme. This package is usage for non-KDE Plasma desktops. Hold on. Install package X cursor breeze. It's installing. Nothing happened. So maybe it created a new folder here. No, it did not. Wait, so where's this cursor theme? Where did it install it? I'm not sure if I understand how this works. Let's actually uninstall it. Install. Wait, that wasn't smart. Oh, remove package. Oh, and it shows all of your packages here. 151. So if I do X cursor breeze and it's gone. I'm having a bunch of trouble with the mouse cursor. Maybe let's move on to Waybar. Config and Waybar. It opens up the configuration file. So if I want to remove this clock from here, I would just delete this, update this file, and it's not gone. Wait, hold on. There should be a way to update Waybar. Update? No, this is something else. What if I go into this menu? Maybe I can reload stuff. This will probably update my entire system. Oh, wait, I just opened another one, closed it, and now the clock is gone. So maybe I just have to close it. So if I undo now and put this clock back in, save this file and quit, boom, there's the clock. That was much easier than the mouse cursor. Let's return to it though. So I have this cursor folder. Where do I put it? On Arch Linux systems, your icons folder can be found in two main locations. User share icons for system-wide themes. Home, your username, local, share icons. Oh, it was inside of the local folder. Share and icons here. So I think I move the cursors here then, and then I do exec1's hyperctl cursor theme size in my config. So for me, the theme is going to be breeze. Do I capitalize it? The size will be like 48. Will that work? Nothing happened. Do I have to close this file for it to reload? What's index theme? Oh, name breeze dark. Nice. Breeze dark. Save this. And my mouse cursor hasn't changed. What if I quit? Config is reloaded the moment you save it. However, you can use hyperctl reload to reload it manually. Okay, let's do this. It literally said okay. But the mouse cursor still hasn't changed. I remember from the previous video, I think I had to log out for it to change. So let's try to do that. Okay, I restarted my PC and the mouse cursor just became bigger. That's not good. It's definitely working, but it's not grabbing this cursor theme. I'm going to set this to 32 now. If I save it, it doesn't update. Maybe I should have moved this inside of icons, not the subfolder. I'll try restarting now and see what happens. Nope, the cursor is still bigger and it didn't change. Okay, I'm just going to use, I'm just going to use my own video to see what I did. This was 10 months ago. Damn. I set environment equals X cursor size 24. Environment equals X cursor size 24. Wait, what are the contents of icons default index.theme? Hold on a moment. I think past me is onto something. Name breeze dark, and it just says a bunch of stuff in different languages. Oh, I said them differently. EVN. I said ENV. Rookie mistake. Wait, I'm making the same mistake in my video. It's ENV on one line and EVN on the other. I think it's ENV. Do I leave this here? Exec1's hyperctl set cursor. What if I just put in ENV equals X cursor theme, comma, breeze dark? Okay, now my mouse cursor is back to regular size. What am I doing wrong? I didn't expect to have the most trouble with the mouse cursor. There's env x cursor size, env x cursor theme, and exec1's. Wait, maybe this has to be like here. Hyperland and x cursor in general don't read pretty name, but actual folder name of your theme. Whatever the folder name is, that's the correct x cursor theme. Wait, so if I rename this to breeze underscore dark, and maybe this one, because I'm not sure which one is the cursors. Let's first try breeze dark. You can test it out without restarting. Hyperctl set cursor breeze breeze? Oh, thanks for telling me just now. Nothing happened. Okay, what if we just do breeze and let's try it out? It says okay, nothing's happening. If your folder doesn't contain an index theme file inside, Hyperland won't recognize it as a cursor. Oh, okay. Create a new folder, breeze, move breeze dark cursors and theme inside of there, and then inside of breeze here, what if I do bruise? Set cursor, bruise 24. Didn't work. Wait, it did work. Okay, there we have the cursor. Oh, this took way too long, but there is the breeze cursor. Beautiful. Okay, let's install and create a Manim animation. So first I need VS Code for this. Well, I could use NeoVim. So if I go to install development, wait, not development, I will need Python. So install that. Okay, installing Python, just like that with one button click. Then I want to also install VS Code. It also installs just like that. This Linux distribution is definitely meant for more developers. The next thing I'll need is Manim itself. Install on Linux. First I need to install Python, which I think I've already just done. Sudo pacman syu base devil cairo and pango. So let's paste that into the terminal. Proceed with installation. Yes, I love the pacman animation because you actually install stuff with the pacman manager on Arch Linux. That's just a nice touch. By the way, did you notice how each app goes slightly transparent when you move your cursor away from it? So look at displays here. When I switch the app, it becomes just a little bit transparent. So now I'm in my home folder. I guess that's good. I'll paste in these 3 commands, which will create a virtual environment inside of a new folder called Manimations. I don't know why I'm explaining this, just enter. Essentially, it installs Manim inside of its own separate folder so that it's not system-wide. So now I need to note this down, Python executable. It's inside of manimations.vnv bin Python. Then open VS Code, new file. Let's save it inside of Manimations. Git repositories were found in the parent folders of the workspace. Would you like to open? No, I have no clue how to use Git. I'm also going to need the Manim side view extension, and we should have everything. So if I say import Manim, it's probably not going to work. Yes, because down here I need to select a correct Python interpreter. What if I browse? It should be hidden inside of this folder. Control H inside of VNV bin and Python, right? Now this turned green and we should be good to go. So let's create a simple animation. Wait, why is it underlining this stuff? Looking up my own tutorial for how to install Manim. Always good. Oh, there we go. It works. And it says, good evening. Beautiful. By the way, if you install Omarchy like this and you want to go back to Windows, hopefully you didn't nuke your Windows installation, make sure to back up your entire computer before you install anything. I'm talking from experience. So anyway, if you want to switch back into Windows, you can just go here and restart, and it's back into Omarchy. Never mind. I started doing a tutorial for how to switch to Windows and couldn't switch to Windows. I found this dual boot Windows and Omarchy using systemd-boot. Not sure what that means. Run the following command to list disks and partitions. I'll paste that into the terminal. Look for the Windows EFI system partition. It will typically be on the Windows drive. Have FS type as VFAT. Be labeled as EFI system partition. There it is, EFI system partition. Create a temporary mount point and mount the Windows EFI partition. Make sure to mount the drive based on step 1. Okay, let's yoink this. What this does is it makes a new directory, mkdir-p, no clue what it does. Essentially, it makes it inside of mnt Windows EFI. Then I want to mount this inside of here. Wait, do I need to put in /dev or no? I'm just going to put it like this and see what happens. Enter. Nothing happened, which is good. Verify that it contains the Microsoft bootloader. It has boot, Microsoft, and Ubuntu. Why does it have Ubuntu? You should see a Microsoft folder. There's Microsoft. Copy the Microsoft bootloader into your Linux EFI system partition. Copy -R. Not sure what that does. mnt Windows EFI Microsoft into boot/EFI. Okay. Then unmount the EFI partition. Let's paste this in as well. Delete the temporary mount point. So essentially it deletes the folder that I created here. Just a few months ago, I would have understood zero of what this meant. Crazy. Restart your machine and you should see a new entry. So we're done. If I put in reboot and boink. So now in theory, I should see Windows here and I don't. It says Omarchy, Linux, and EFI fallback. That's not good. Oh, prerequisites. Arch Linux with systemd-boot as the bootloader. So I think I'm using this, right? Which bootloader is Omarchy using? Mine bootloader. How to add Windows Windows to limine bootloader. Just run sudo limine scan to easily find and add your Windows boot. Wait, it was this easy? I didn't have to do the entire previous setup. Available EFI boot entries, and there's Windows there. Wait, there's also Windows here. Choose a boot entry number to add it to limine or press C to cancel. So I can just press 1, enter, and now Windows will be there. How do I set Windows as the default? To set the default boot entry in limine, you must configure its behavior within the limine configuration file boot limine.conf by either setting the default entry option to the index or the name of your desired entry, or by enabling remember last entry. So let's find the configuration file, cd change directory, which essentially goes to a folder. Let's go to boot, then ls to show all the folders here, and limine.conf. Beautiful. I'm going to open that with vim. Command not found, vim. Oh yes, neovim. Limine.conf. Boink. Command not found, neovim. Wait, is it nvim? Limine conf. Oh, I accidentally said cough. Rip. Okay, here we are. Default entry is number 2. Interface branding. You can change the branding. So what if I change it from 2 to Windows Boot Manager? I don't know if you have to do it inside of quotation marks. Oh, and then once I change all of this, I have to sudo limine update instead of sudo update grub. Beautiful. Okay, so I think we're good. Read only option is set for limine. Do you wish to write anyway? Oh no, I didn't do this as sudo. Sudo neovim limine.conf, and then change the default entry to Windows Boot Manager, write and quit, and then finally sudo limine update. Boom. And let's do reboot. Boom. Windows is right here. It's not pre-selected. So let's go back in and change the default entry. Currently you have default entry 2. I need to change it to 3. Let's do that. Why did I just put in 4? Then sudo limine update, and now we should be good to go. Never mind. I just restarted my PC and it restarted into Omarchy, not Windows. So why does this not work? Default entry. Wait, why does it say 2? It should say 3. Limine update. It should update everything. And so now if I go back in, surely it's 3. Yes, it is. Okay. And okay, it's Windows now. That took much longer than it needed to. So how was my Omarchy experience? It was much better than I expected. It's Arch Linux with Hyperland, but without the pain of having to install and set everything up yourself. This setup will definitely take a little bit of time to get used to, like learning Vim to be able to customize your operating system, or how Hyperland even works. But once you get used to it, it can become a very powerful setup because you can do everything with the keyboard. And that's especially cool if you do a bunch of writing heavy work, like development or writing emails. It's also amazing that it comes with a bunch of actually useful pre-installed stuff, not some useless bloat that comes with Windows. Well, there are only two things that I don't like. The first one is that inside of this menu, you have to type in twice. So if I want to suspend my system, I type in sus, and it's not here. I have to go into system and then sus to suspend. And the other one is that it completely takes over your entire hard drive. If you have just one SSD and you want to dual boot Windows and Omarchy, well, you're out of luck because it's going to devour the entire thing. Goodbye.